Hey there! Have you noticed how the world feels like it's at a crossroads? On one side, democracies, think free elections, open debates, are struggling to keep up. On the other, authoritarian regimes, with their tight control and slick propaganda, seem to be gaining ground. What's going on? Today, we're diving into 5 philosophical insights that explain why democracies are weakening, why authoritarian systems are flexing their muscles, and where this all might lead us. These aren't just abstract ideas. They'll help you make sense of the news and maybe even your own choices. I've been thinking about this a lot, especially with how fast things are changing. Social media, AI, global tensions. Philosophy is like a lens that sharpens the big picture. So let's start with the first insight. Democracies thrive on trust, but trust is eroding. Picture a democracy like a big group project. It only works if everyone trusts each other to play fair. Voters, leaders, institutions. But what happens when that trust breaks? Think about the last time you scrolled through social media and saw people arguing over fake news or rigged elections. Philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau said democracy needs a social contract, an unspoken agreement that we're all in this together. But today, misinformation, polarized echo chambers, and distrust in institutions are tearing that contract apart. Shows like The Social Dilemma highlight how algorithms amplify division. Why does this matter? When trust fades, people start looking for strong, decisive leaders who promise quick fixes, even if it means less freedom. Here's a tip. Next time you're online, pause and ask, is this post building trust or breaking it? It's a small way to stay grounded. So, the first insight is that democracies weaken when trust crumbles, paving the way for authoritarian control. Let's move to the second insight. Authoritarian regimes are mastering the art of control through technology. Think about how much of your life is online. Your likes, your searches, your chats. Authoritarian systems are using AI and surveillance tech to track and shape behavior like never before. It's not just dystopian sci-fi like Black Mirror, it's happening now. Philosopher Michel Foucault talked about power as control over knowledge. Today's authoritarians use algorithms to control what you see and think, from state-run media to targeted propaganda. Ray Dalio, the principles guy, would call this a system, and it's scarily efficient. For example, some regimes use AI to monitor social media and silence dissent before it spreads. Meanwhile, democracies often lag behind, stuck in debates about privacy or free speech. It's like a chess game where one side's playing in 3D. Why should you care? Because tech isn't neutral. It shapes power. Here's a practical step inspired by Dalio. Reflect on your own media diet. Ask yourself, am I seeing the full picture, or am I being fed a narrative? It's a way to reclaim some control. Wow, we're already unpacking some heavy stuff, aren't we? These two insights, eroding trust in democracies and authoritarian tech mastery, are just the beginning. To see where the world's headed, we need to dig deeper. Let's move on to the third insight. All right, welcome back. We've already seen how distrust is fracturing democracies and how authoritarian regimes are leaning hard into technology to stay in control. But there's more to this story, and it's about how our minds, yours and mine, are being shaped by the world around us. Let's dive into the third insight. Democracies struggle when collective fear drives us to conformity. Ever notice how fear can make people act as a herd? It's like we're wired to follow the crowd when things get scary. Philosopher Søren Kierkegaard warned about the crowd mentality, where individuals lose their sense of self to groupthink. In democracies, fear, say of economic collapse or cultural change can push people to rally behind simple, loud solutions, even if they're wrong. Think of the Hunger Games. The capital keeps people in line by stoking fear of rebellion, but even the districts start conforming to survive. Historically, the Great Depression saw democracies wobble as scared citizens turned to strongmen promising stability, like in 1930s Europe. Today, fear is amplified by 24/7 news cycles and social media. A viral post about a crisis can make you feel like the world's falling apart, even if it's not. Authoritarian regimes love this. They use fear to unify people under their control, promising safety. Why should you care? Because fear can cloud your judgment, even in a democracy. Here's a Dalio-inspired tip. When you feel anxious about the world, take a breath and ask, what's the evidence behind this fear? It's a small way to break free from the herd. So, the third insight is that collective fear pushes us toward conformity, which authoritarians exploit while democracies falter. Now, let's move to the fourth insight. AI is supercharging manipulation in ways we're only starting to understand. Picture this. You're scrolling through your phone, and every ad, post, or video feels like it's speaking directly to you. That's not an accident, it's AI at work, tailoring content to your emotions, biases, and clicks. It's like having a personal propagandist in your pocket. Philosopher Hannah Arendt studied how propaganda sways masses. Today's AI takes that to a new level, creating hyper-personalized narratives. In Black Mirror's Hated in the Nation, AI-driven social media manipulates public outrage with deadly results. Authoritarian regimes are all over this. They use AI to craft propaganda that feels authentic. Think deep-fake videos or bots posing as real people. A 2020 report showed how some governments used AI to sway elections by targeting undecided voters with precision. Democracies, meanwhile, are playing catch-up. They're stuck debating regulations while AI moves faster than lawmakers. It's like trying to referee a game where one team's using futuristic tech and the other's still reading the rulebook. Here's why this matters. Your mind is a battleground. A practical step, straight from Dalio's playbook, is to diversify your information sources. If you only watch one news channel or follow one influencer, you're an easy target. Ask yourself, am I hearing all sides? We're getting deep now, aren't we? These two insights, fear-driven conformity and AI-powered manipulation, show how the scales are tipping. But there's one final piece to this puzzle that ties it all together. Let's head to the fifth insight. Here we are, at the final stretch. We've explored how distrust, tech, fear, and manipulation are tilting the world toward authoritarianism while democracies struggle. But there's one last insight that could change everything. Your individual consciousness is the key to shaping the future. Let's zoom out. All these trends, distrust, AI control, fear-driven crowds, rely on one thing: people giving up their ability to think for themselves. But what if you could reclaim that power? That's where philosophy and your mind come in. Philosopher Immanuel Kant urged us to dare to know, to use our reason to question the world. Your consciousness, that unique spark of awareness, is what lets you step back, reflect, and choose your path, even when the world's screaming at you to conform. Authoritarian regimes hate this. They want predictable, obedient masses, not free thinkers. In V for Vendetta, the hero sparks a revolution by waking people up to their own agency. Historically, thinkers like Socrates challenged Athens' status quo, even at great cost. Democracies, when they work, thrive on individual voices. Think of the civil rights movement. Ordinary people like Rosa Parks used their conscience to change history. But today, it's easy to feel like your voice doesn't matter, especially with AI and media noise. Here's the thing. Your mind is stronger than you think. Every time you question a headline, talk to someone with different views, or make a thoughtful choice, you're pushing back against control. It's like a tiny rebellion in your head. Let's make it practical. Ray Dalio's all about principles, so here's one. Commit to one act of conscious choice every day. Maybe it's voting in a local election, reading a book instead of scrolling, or starting a conversation about ideas that matter to you. Why does this work? Because collective change starts with individuals. If enough people think critically, democracies can rebuild trust and resist authoritarian pull. It's like a network effect. Your small action ripples outward. But it's not just about resisting. It's about building something better. Imagine a world where technology serves freedom, not control. In Star Trek, AI, like the Enterprise's computer, helps humans explore, not obey. That's a future worth aiming for. So, the fifth insight is that your individual consciousness, your ability to think, question, and act, can tip the scales back toward freedom. It's not easy, but it's powerful. And it starts with you, right now. Let's wrap this up. We've seen how distrust, tech, fear, manipulation, and the loss of individual agency are strengthening authoritarian regimes while weakening democracies. But the future isn't set in stone. You have a role to play. Here's your challenge. Take one step today to sharpen your mind. Maybe it's questioning a news story, joining a community discussion, or just reflecting on what freedom means to you. As Dalio would say, small, consistent steps lead to big results. Thanks for joining me on this journey. If this got you thinking, drop a comment. What's one way you'll use your mind to shape the future? Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into philosophy, AI, and the world we're building together. See you next time.